So we are now in the Labyrinth course, sessions 5 and 6. Session 5 is usually the theoretical question, and session 6 is the practical. Didn't get a chance to do it over the weekend, so I'm doing both of them today. I think you will love it, guys, just like I love it, and you will appreciate all the wealth of information that I'm giving you, together with the practical part, with the drawing, okay? So let's start looking at what the labyrinth is, okay? You know what? This is what I should have put today. Give me a second. Our goal for today is, why don't I do it right away? Give me a second, let me write it down so you know what you're expecting to be happening today, okay? Okay. What's going on here? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, let's get back to the slideshow, okay? So let's talk about what we're going to cover today, okay? We're going to talk about labyrinths throughout the ages, geographically and anthropologically. We're going to discuss, we're going to figure out, I'm going to show you how there are many, many labyrinths that historians and anthropologists has found on engravings on the rock and a lot of interesting things. And then we're going to talk more about the classical, the Cretan labyrinth, right? The hero labyrinth, we also call it, right? We're going to discuss that there are different types of a variety of classical labyrinths we can see, okay? Then I'm going to show you how it can be connected to the chakras knowledge, to the Sefirot, and the Ho'oponopono practice. And then we're going to actually draw the classical labyrinths, and we're going to do a neurographic walk. And I'm going to show you how we can do that, connecting it with the chakras or the Sefirot or the Ho'oponopono. That will be up to you which one you want to utilize, okay? So let's start, okay? Historians and anthropologists have found labyrinths, engravings, and the traces of labyrinths in the following parts of the world, okay? The North America, okay, in North America, they found petroglyphs. Petroglyphs, another way for it would be called engravings, okay? It's an image created by, on the part of the rock surface, okay, by incising, picking, carving, abrading, okay? It's a type of a rock art, you can call it. That's what they call it now, okay? That's over here. This is the North America, okay? They found rock labyrinths in Scandinavia, right here, okay? And North Russia, okay, right here. Okay, lots and lots of traces of historical labyrinths. They found turf labyrinths right here. Okay, this area I believe is I wonder what this is. This is Pyrenees. So this would be also like Norwegia, Norway, and Sweden over here. This area, okay. Pyrenean petroglyphs, okay, right here. Pyrenean area. In number 5. They found the church labyrinths of Western Europe. Okay, there are tons and tons of church labyrinths. Church has been accepting labyrinths. We talked about it in the first session because labyrinths is a part of the Greco-Roman world. And we know that what Christianity did, when Christianity came along, what Christianity did, it adapted a lot of Greco-Roman ideas and values and philosophy. So they did take the labyrinths, and we talked about it because especially the center has a cross on it, which is a sacred image for the Christianity. They adapted it as part of their value, but labyrinths themselves are not Christian symbols, or they're not associated with any specific religion or belief system, okay? So that's an important part to remember. 6, Mediterranean, okay? Over here, 6, Mediterranean, Italy, Greece, area, okay, over here, they found lots of ceramics with the images of the various types of labyrinths. They found, again, petroglyphs, which is rock engravings. They found furniture that has images of the labyrinths, Greek coins that have images of the labyrinths. And of course, they found various mosaics of Roman type of labyrinths. Okay, I'm going to show you the difference between Greek and Roman, by the way. Okay, we're going to discuss it. I think you won't be much surprised when you see it. Number 7 in India. Look, all the way here. Look how much it has traveled, okay? All the way here in India, they have petroglyphs and land labyrinths, okay? In India, they found. And 6 and 7 over here, between 6 and 7, there is also the whole area of the Caucasus, okay? It's a part of Russia that's now called Dagestan. Dagestan is actually not originally a Russian land. It's actually a Muslim population. And I actually know Dagestan very well. I lived nearby. I had family who lived there. So Dagestan is an area that belonged originally to the Ottoman Empire, to the Iran area first. You know, it belongs to that type of Muslims, the Shiite Muslims. And it was a part of what Russia has kind of conquered from the Ottoman Empire in the beginning of last century, when Russia and Turkey were involved in lots of wars, okay? Middle Asia, right here, okay? This is Middle Asia area. They found lots of petroglyphs, and which is rock labyrinths and land labyrinths, okay? And of course, Pakistan, which is also like, I believe this is India, and Pakistan is somewhere around here, okay? Pakistan also had a lot of, they found a lot of traces of petroglyphs and land labyrinths, okay? That's something that's interesting to note, okay? Nowadays, I can show you, I can post the link for you. Let me know if you guys are interested. I will post the link, but I think you can find it yourself. If you write the word labyrinths in the Facebook group, they will give you a number of labyrinth groups. One of them is a Main Labyrinth Society, and they post a lot of people. Whenever they find labyrinths, they would post it in there. And one of them I saw was actually right here, which is more like Alaska, you know, the cold region. They do carve labyrinths out of the ice, which I find to be very fascinating, right? But all over the place, okay? In North America, it's interesting to note, right? We can understand the labyrinth being spread here because people travel by foot. But when people discovered labyrinths in North America, that was a big surprise, because, and that came to this idea, to an anthropological idea that I heard before, okay? Because there are so many similarities between the, if we're talking about, let's say, even, okay, this is North America, by the way, this is part of Canada. There's lots of it discovered in the USA. And of course, over here, we have Mexico, okay? I mean, Puerto Rico and Mexico is somewhere here. So it's interesting to note, okay, that in Mexico, right, historical anthropologically speaking, what people discovered in Mexico, lots of pyramids and everything, and what they discovered in Egypt, right, the pyramids in Egypt, and a lot of things they discovered in Australia, okay? And there was a lot of talk about the fact that even before Columbus discovered America, right, which he back then thought it was India, there were small discoveries. People would travel from one place to another. People would travel, okay? We don't see it here, but there's Australia here and New Zealand. People would travel because they also have a lot of traditions similar in the natives that lived in the North America and the natives that lived in Australia, okay? We're not going to discuss the similarities between the natives who lived in South America and North America, because again, it's understandable that they could travel by foot or even by boats. But it was interesting to know that they discovered, and they're actually called Native American labyrinths. Again, remind me, I bought a wonderful book on Amazon. It's full of different types of labyrinths, okay, and including the Indian labyrinths. Remind me, I will definitely post it in the group for you guys to view it, for you guys to buy for yourself. It's a truly amazing resource to own, okay? It's not expensive, but it's like a huge book that's like, it has huge labyrinths on each page that you can use to walk, okay? Hand labyrinths, okay. Let's go further, okay? I got this presentation from the Russian, from the Institute's course, which my course is loosely or somewhat based on, but I found this presentation to be so valuable, and I didn't, my apologies, but I did not translate most of it, but it's okay because I'm gonna explain it to you. It would take a long time to translate, and I didn't get to do that, okay? But that's okay because I want to explain to you, I think the pictures speak 1,000 words, okay? And I will translate whatever it says here. It's not that hard, okay? So this, notice what you see, right? This is like writing. By the way, who can right away see the association with the NeuroGraphic drawing, right? This is the 15 to 10,000 years before the Common Era, before, note how old this is, okay? This is a fresco in Spain, Altamira. They found this in the ceiling of the cave in Altamira, Spain, okay? This is called the macaroni or the pasta kind of engravings, which is very, again, peculiar, right? Again, remind you of, but when people looked at it, they actually did associate it with the labyrinth because they did think of it as a way for people to find a way to travel, to find something, okay? This engraving, you can see this is quite a clear labyrinth. And what kind of labyrinth it is? I would say it's a spiral type of labyrinth. Look, this is the entrance, right? It looks a bit like the hero, but we know it's a spiral because it goes around until you reach the center. It's not going back and forth like the hero labyrinth, like the classical labyrinth goes, okay? This engraving, petroglyphs they found in Malta, okay? 20 to 15,000 before the Common Era. Look how old this is, okay, guys? This is showing how the labyrinths existed way before any, religious institutions have claimed them or anything like that, okay? This is found in the Babylon, okay? This labyrinth, notice it's an interesting way. This has a few labyrinths engraved all together, right, you guys? It will take quite some time for it to walk to labyrinths. They found this labyrinth 17 to 2,000 years before the Common Era. This is Babylon, okay? Now, this is, notice the classical labyrinths, okay? This is the Greek coins that we mentioned earlier, right? Notice here have the circular classical labyrinths, but over here, we have what? We have the square classical labyrinths. Also notice over here, there's only one entrance, right? But over here, we have two entrances, similar to what we discussed in the womb labyrinths, okay? We discussed the double entrance labyrinths when we talked about the womb labyrinth. Over here is another coin, also the square shape of the classical labyrinth, and there is only one entrance, okay? This has been discovered, dated to 70 to 300 years before the Common Era. And do you know what they found is? Actual Knos, actual Naxos, Crete. Okay, the actual place where we discuss the story of the labyrinth, the Greek mythology takes place. If you remember, this is actually posted in London in British Museum. Okay, if you ever get a chance to go. I actually have some pictures I posted when I was in New York, and I went to the Metropolitan Museum. They also have beautiful pictures of the labyrinth. I'm going to find it and post it in the group. Okay, this engravings, notice you see the engravings, okay? Pay attention to the picture over here. We will discuss the significance of this picture. It's a picture of a person. We can see the feet and then the hands. What is the hands? What are the hands doing? The hands are raised, okay, like this, similar to look at my picture, to what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to discuss the significance of this picture later on. This is this has been discovered this is the Minoan culture, okay? And look, they also found this rock engraving of the labyrinth, the square labyrinth walking, also one entrance, right entrance, okay? This is posted in the National Archives Museum in Athens, okay, again, Greeks. Now we are going to look at the Europeans labyrinths, okay? This is North Europe. This has been dated 1,000 years before the Common Era, okay? Notice the double entry Labyrinth, double entry. This has been posted in Russia. Okay, look, you can actually see that picture, right? This picture, by the way, belongs to the 15th century labyrinth in Durham, England. Okay, and this is the port. But what I want to bring your attention is to this two labyrinths that are double entry labyrinths. Okay, look, similar to the womb labyrinths that we drew and we focused on last week, right? This has been found in Russia and this is in Sweden. Okay, lots and lots of labyrinths in North Europe they discovered. Okay, I want to show you the petroglyph that they discovered, and notice how it looks like what? It looks like the spiral. There's a lot of labyrinths that discovered are spiral labyrinths, okay? And over here, it's interesting to note, okay? So this, the letter A labyrinth has been discovered, the petroglyphs, discovered in Scotland. They have been also found in the British Islands, in France, in North Spain, in Italy, in Greece, and in Switzerland. Okay, the Swiss style labyrinths. Now, what we see here is the way schematically, how people have evolved the labyrinths to go from just the spiral, going round and round and round, by erasing the middle path, right? This middle line, and actually creating a line here, okay? And this is the way to either create few entrance labyrinths, right? Voila, and you're right in the center. Or look, if you erase the connection of the spiral lines to the middle line, right? And start creating what? Loops. Remember we did loops last time? Okay, then you will get to create the classical labyrinths, okay? You can see different versions over here. Again, this you can create a single entrance, okay, going around and around, or if you erase this here, this will be a double, maybe even triple entrance, okay? I've rarely seen a labyrinth with a triple entrance, and like I told you, I've been researching labyrinths for the past 2 years. Ever since I took the first course, I've been reading books. Again, remind me, I forgot to post it last week. Tons and tons of books I read that research what labyrinths are, and from my research, I didn't ever see the triple entrance. I did see a four entry labyrinth, but that was a more complicated labyrinth. It was like four labyrinths put together, and that's why it has 4 entrances. Again, I'll post you, I'll find it in my books and I'll post you a picture, okay? So over here, this middle labyrinth is the graphical way we can see the way a labyrinth was built according to the labyrinth expert named Krauss. Okay, he wrote the book in 1893 where he talked about it. And of course, in the third labyrinth, we see the labyrinths, the classical labyrinths, and the way we can create it by just drawing circles, okay? Let's go further. The spiral and the labyrinths, okay? The spiral labyrinths are the most further dated labyrinths we can ever find in the historically and anthropologically, okay? They found it 21,000 years before the Common Era. Okay, in Europe, the spiral, yeah, they found the spiral labyrinth. So 21,000 years before the Common Era, they found labyrinths in Siberia, right? We know it's cold, so it's probably preserved better. So a lot of anthropological items were found in the cold region more than the warm region, right? In Europe, they found the spiral-like labyrinth, age to 7,000 years before the Common Era. Okay, this one, the first labyrinth you see, again, we saw this earlier. This was found in Malta. Okay, 20 to 15,000 years before the Common Era. It's now yeah, this is actually made out of the mammoth bone. Can you imagine the bone of the mammoth? Look, think how old this is, back when the mammoth existed, okay? This spiral labyrinth was found in the White Sea in Russia, okay? They found it this is a rock engraving. They found it in the cave, okay? And this is, of course, again, showing you the similarity between the spiral labyrinths and the classical labyrinths, okay? Again, you can guys do this with the Some of you did it as we did in the spiral, in the sacred geometry course, okay? But you can do this. You can actually draw the spiral. And then what you do is you're going to create like a triangle here, erase the lines under here, and then continue creating the loops. But I'll show you a different way we're going to draw the classical labyrinths. I'll show you a very simple and easy and very easily drawn labyrinth today, okay? We're going to work on it. I'm going to show you, you'll be surprised with how easy it can be done. Nothing complicated, I promise you. Okay, the meander and the labyrinths, okay? This is a petroglyph from Sudan. Again, we're going back to the Muslim populated areas where they also had a lot of areas where they had various types of labyrinths, which again brings us back to the idea that this is not necessarily Christian based symbol or Christian based practice or Christian based idea, okay? Like I said, in the Ottoman Empire, lots and lots of labyrinths. They found a place which used to be the Ottoman Empire. Notice the way the labyrinths work here. Look, I'm going to show you one path where you enter here, and then you go around. Look at this. It's a very interesting way to walk the labyrinths, okay? If you want to, you can stop the video and actually trace it with your fingers. This is very interesting labyrinths, okay? Now, what can we see here? This rock engraving is not just a labyrinth engraving, but it's also, we know, this is how stories used to be told through rock engraving, right? Previous time, before the book printing was invented by Guttmann in Germany, right? People would, way back, right? People way before even the Common Era, this is the way people would do storytelling. This is the way people would live their heritage, by doing a storytelling. What can you see? You see a person, you see, I would say like something looking like a cow. So we know this represents the cattle, okay? The home animals, okay? It's an interesting way I am not a historian. Unfortunately, I love history, but that wasn't something I went into. But I'm sure there are people, I know there are people who are actually trained to figure out what this says. I don't remember their names. There is actually a name for people who train to do this, okay? This is Egypt. This has been found in Egypt. Lots and lots of labyrinths in the Egyptian. If you have any I know there's one in the Metropolitan Museum in New York, but I'm sure every country has a historical, anthropological type of museum, and they all have Egyptian art. Okay, if you go, you're going to find so many labyrinth engravings on various Egyptian artifacts. Okay, this is very interesting. And again, this is a form of rock engraving storytelling. Okay, look at this person walking. Okay, this has been done 3,000 years before the Common Era. The Sudan is 5,000 to 6,000 years before the Common Era. Okay, this is a bracelet. Look, this is a bracelet. You know what it was made out of? Again, the trunk of the mammoth. Okay, no, not the trunk. You know, the tussles, I think they're called. You know what I'm talking about? The thingies that come out, that like a rock. Okay, they have been engraved, made out of that mammoth bone. Okay, isn't that interesting? This has been discovered 18,000 years before the Common Era. Okay, beautiful, right? Look at the tiny, small labyrinth style drawing, okay? You can see that even nowadays, whenever they show like Greco-Roman style of kind of even decoration or design, you can find books that have this, okay? I'm going to show you how this classical labyrinth, okay? This is a style of a classical labyrinth. It doesn't look exactly like the classical labyrinths we saw before, but this is similar to it, has evolved from this kind of drawing, okay? Look, this is the labyrinth. The entrance is on top, let's say. You go around and around, and you go around, and you come out in the here, okay? So what's the story here? Remember the classical labyrinth, there is one entry and one exit. This one, 2 entries and 2 exits, okay? Now, how has this been evolved? This has been, look, they draw this wider, and then from a little tiny piece, they made it a quarter of a circle type of drawing. Look, the same style of the walking, but much longer, which gives you what? Gives you more opportunity to what? Think over, ponder upon whatever it is in your mind, whatever your goal is. Okay, notice here, they took the same style of the labyrinth entrance and have kind of stretched it out to the half a circle. Okay, notice you can enter here, go around. You can stop the video and do this. This is a beautiful, beautiful walk. 2 enters, okay, 2 entrance and 2 exits, of course. You can enter here and exit here. You can enter here and exit here. You can enter one area and one exit. It's up to you. But over here, they took, look, they stretched it out further. They created a full circle with this. Notice, okay? Imagine drawing the full circle and finishing here. But they adapted it to only make it a 1 entrance. But again, think about it. If you erase the entrance here, you can create a double entrance here, okay? This is not so hard. This is called the church labyrinth, okay? Why is it called the church labyrinth? Again, simply because this has been found in many various churches throughout Europe. So they named it the church labyrinth. It has nothing to do with churches. It's just the place when it was engraved, okay? Because remember, churches used to be, and still is, not as much, of course, but still is a place of community meetings. This is where communities would meet up and decide on whatever they need to do with their towns, their cities, and so on and so forth. This has been discovered, dated to 12,000 years. And of course, it's our era because churches belong in our era, not before the Common Era, okay? This is the Common Era. Okay, this is interesting to note, okay? This, right? Remember what this is called? This is called the swastika, okay? Now, I know in Germany, you're not even allowed to say that word, okay? It's against the law, okay? But this is interesting to show how when Nazis adopted the swastika, it used just to be a part of a religious symbolism, okay? Swastika used to be one way Christianity, the cross and the Christianity would be depicted. We also know the swastika belongs to Buddhism and Tibetan type of symbolism, okay? So this is what happened here. They took the swastika, and if you continue drawing the lines in the swastika, going around and around, look at this. There is a way this can be done. And look, they created the classical labyrinth, yet it is not circular, but rather square, okay? Again, we will be practicing doing this today. I will show you the same base on how to draw it, and you will get to decide, do you want to make it circular or square, okay? I will show you how to do that, okay? But again, it's interesting just to start noting that a lot of symbolism that we understand from our current modern point of view are not the same that they used to be historically speaking, anthropologically speaking, okay? Okay, we're going to actually discuss this further, but look, it's the same center. I want to show you the center of the classical labyrinth, okay? Whether it's square or circular, okay? Notice different types of way to draw this, again, for you guys to practice later on. We will start today, and you will be practicing lots and lots of drawing as a homework at home, okay? And this is the fresco from, this actually is posted in Paris and Louvre in one of the museums. This has been dated, okay, 380 to 370 years before the Common Era. Okay, we know every time the first number is higher than the first number, than the last number, I mean, that means it happened before the Common Era, because going there, we're going increasing down, okay? This is the story of Paris and Helena, okay? The story of Paris and Helena, we know. This is the start of the Trojan War, according to the Greek mythology. Okay, and this is something he gave her. And look what they found here, okay? Because I remember looking and thinking, this has nothing to do with the story of the Greek mythology of the labyrinth. But this is the story what they're trying to show you. Look, this, the center of the labyrinth, okay? The center of the labyrinth is symbolism. Symbolism of entering and reaching what? Some kind of center, some kind of solution, okay? By the way, notice that labyrinth is different from any other labyrinths we've seen so far. This one has 11 ways to go. Okay, we usually look at the hero labyrinth, which has 7 to 8. spirals to go around, okay? This one has 11, okay? If you count 1, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then you reach the center, okay? So to reach the center, you would have to walk around. This is a long labyrinth to walk. But again, I will show you how to draw the 11th and what's the difference is, okay? So here, are you good? Any questions? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, okay?
Okay.
This is the famous Charters Labyrinth, okay? This labyrinth you see here, the famous chart. This is the most famous labyrinth ever, okay? I have to remember to post in the group. I made a lot of publications on my Facebook, lots of posts where I discuss the most famous labyrinth throughout the world, okay? I will post it for you guys to read, to become familiar with, okay? This is the most famous labyrinth called the Charters Labyrinth. It is located inside the famous Charters Church, okay? This labyrinth is actually located in the church, okay? But it is not near any, like, for people who would want to go. It's not, it's like a connection to the church. So a lot of people travel there, they walk, it's like a thing, you know, people go, a lot of the Labyrinth Society actually every year, that's something actually I would want to do ever sometime in the future. They actually organize a trip throughout the world where they follow and they visit different labyrinths throughout the world. And of course, this is a #1 spot on their trip, because to walk the Chartered Labyrinth is considered to be a very unique connection to the labyrinth, okay? The Chartered Labyrinth looks like this. What do you see in the middle? The rose, okay? Again, this is a connection to the Christianity symbolism, the rose, okay? But not necessarily. This is, again, what Christianity has adapted from the Greco-Roman philosophy, okay? The rose is not just a unique Christian symbolism, just for people to start understanding that it can have many different varieties of symbolism, like we discussed here in the swastika area, right? The rose is a beautiful, beautiful symbolism that's connected. Again, what does it symbolize? I'm going to connect on this later on. It symbolizes the feminine energy. Rose is a symbol of feminine energy, okay? So it's very interesting to start noting, okay? And look, this is a left entry labyrinth, okay? It is a left entry labyrinth, and the fact that there is a rose in the middle kind of signify the fact that this is a left entry. This is to make your feminine energy stronger, to bring more resources to it, okay? Look at this labyrinth, okay? I think I forgot to show here that there is an entrance, okay? There's an entrance here, okay? There's an entrance, okay, here. Okay, there's an entrance here. This is the labyrinth, dated 12,088, the year of 12,088. It has been broken down and destroyed, and then they resurrected it in 1894, 1897. This is in Amiens. This is in France, okay? This is another one of the most, I would say, most famous labyrinths, okay? You see people walking here. Lots of people, pilgrims, walk here just to walk this labyrinth. Again, for most people, it's connection to the church. But nowadays, we know you don't have to be connected to Christianity or be Christian to connect to the labyrinth. The labyrinth is an amazing, amazing way to figure out whatever it is that you have, whatever question you have posted for yourself, okay? This is very unique, okay? Notice how beautiful it is, right? The colors are quite amazing. And this is what it looks like schematically, okay? Similar to the round, but what? How many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sides. That's something important, right? I think we discussed it. I think this is the shape of the, is this the shape of the mosque? So here, I think mosque has 8 sides or 6 sides, remind me. Because I think the mosque has 8 sides, yeah?
Yeah, I think the 8 is the Islamic.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah.
symbolism to the number 8 here. And we know 8 is a very symbolic number because it has to do with a miracle. So that's interesting to note, right? They took a circular, which is more of a feminine shape, and they turned it into not exactly a square, but double the square. Double the square is, of course, 8 sides, which is like double the connection to the both masculine and feminine, you know, double the connection to triangle, you know, true, actually, for quadruple connection to the triangle, which is, again, is a masculine symbolism, okay? Look at this, okay? We're going more, this is similar, this is more turning into, getting more to the modern, okay? Look, this is the way people can draw labyrinths now, similar to a Neuroline, right? Look, they draw a person, and this has become like a fun way, entertaining way to walk through the labyrinths, okay? This is this is a modern type of labyrinth. It's, I think, AI generated, right? But this is only one entrance. Can you imagine? Now, is this a labyrinth or this is a maze? Okay, mazes. Okay, walking the labyrinth or walking the maze became an entertainment type of activity nowadays in Europe and Japan, actually. Okay, Japan also loves it, okay? This comes from British Encyclopedia, okay? Okay, this is, again, modern-looking labyrinth, okay? They look like the maze, but this is an actual labyrinth, okay? Entrance here, walking. Actually, no, this is the maze, but you can get to the center. It's not that complicated compared to other mazes, but yeah, you see, this is a maze, okay? Garden mazes, it's called. Modern days, labyrinths, exactly what we do. Okay, people walk the labyrinth. People built hand labyrinths. We're going to do this in our, I believe, the last session. We're going to actually make labyrinths not drawn, but something, it's made out of something. I'm advising you now already to start looking in the stores, order on Amazon, little maybe stones. Definitely order Play-Doh, or you can do clay. Clay will dry up faster than Play-Doh, but Play-Doh also dries up, just FYI. If you want to, we're going to definitely build a labyrinth out of Play-Doh, just FYI. But if you want to get like little tiny stones, you know, those little circular, like garden stones, the small one, not garden, but you know what I'm talking about. The colored stones, like not quartz, you know what I'm talking about, like different types of stone if you want to use it. Okay, look, people built labyrinths in the backyards. Again, there is a labyrinth. Do you know what this is? This is the labyrinth that has been printed on a giant vinyl. I actually wanted to get this. It's like $3,000 or $3,000 to $5,000 cost to get this. Now, like, no, definitely not doing this. You know, I don't do this enough for practice, but this is something unique. Notice how many entrances, how many walks are in here. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there is the center is actually right here, okay? So this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The biggest type of labyrinth they built is having 13 pathways, okay? 13, imagine. Okay, look at this. This is also like a walking, like a ritual type of walking of the labyrinths, okay? Okay, they actually, there is a national, a World Labyrinth Day is always the first Saturday in May. The first Saturday in May, they do a lot of labyrinth walking activity throughout the world. Look around. They posted in the Labyrinth Society. You can join the group easily on Facebook, okay? Look, people built labyrinths. This is giant stones, okay? This is also giant stones. It's pretty, right? The stones connecting to each other. Okay, so like I said, buy some nice stones and prepare. We're going to do that, okay? Again, showing you different types that we talked about the quadrant, okay? The pre-modern quadrant, okay? Connection to the circle, okay? Connection to the womb labyrinth, okay? From there, from the womb labyrinth, if you close up one entrance, it will turn into a classical labyrinth, okay? It will turn into the second quadrant labyrinth, which is what we're exploring today. This is the postmodern labyrinth. Look at this. Also a tree, right? Or a plant that looks like a labyrinth. And of course, this is meta-modern, okay? I have a book. This is the book I have. This is absolutely beautiful. Types of labyrinths drawn. Again, remind me, I'll post you the name of the book. You can easily buy it on Amazon. It's absolutely amazing, okay? Now we're going to talk more about the classical labyrinth. Let's go into the details, okay? What you can see here, you see the depiction of the fresca. Okay, the fresco is an engraving on the walls, usually, okay? It's called a fresco. This is a fresco that shows what? Theseus slaying the Minotaur, okay? We already discussed the story of the Minotaur. We already know the Greek mythology. If you don't remember, go back and watch the very first section. It's posted here in the group, okay? It's in the Google Doc. You can easily watch it and remind yourself. Notice what you see around the fresco. The little tiny, the beginner way to show the depiction of the labyrinths, right? Remember over here also notice labyrinths all over. The symbolism of labyrinths is all over, okay? Now it's interesting to start notice what I'm going to take you, okay? We mentioned that when I told you the first session, the story of the Greek mythology story of the labyrinth, right? What's symbolism? The way important symbolism for us now, okay? The way we want to, why are you interested in the labyrinths? The way to integrate and use it in your practice. The practical understanding of the labyrinths is, although in most places, it has been depicted by Theseus slaying the Minotaur, we know this is not the main. This is the masculine view of the labyrinths, okay? We're going to discuss it now. The masculine view of the labyrinths, that's why it's called the hero labyrinths, is how to be a hero. We're going to discuss it now, okay? How to be a hero. Let me do it for you right now, okay? Miss this, I'm going to come back to this now, okay? The way that throughout the ages, the masculine idea of the labyrinths was always, the classical labyrinths was always the connection to the masculine energy, okay? The masculine energy is the hero's journey. It's a famous book by Joseph Campbell called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, and he talked about that all storylines have the same idea. Like I actually discuss it with the kids. Whenever they watch a movie, I tell them, think about it. All storylines go the same. There's a hero. The hero plays also the role of a savior, right? His job is to save and to bring saving to whatever happening, you know. There's also always a villain. There's always like a king or some kind of, right? Again, I always say all stories have it, but now it's most stories that have it. All stories have it in the Western world, okay? If you don't come from the Western world, you're going to notice that it's not the same. In a non-Western world, in places where there's different type of, like, again, like Tibetan, like Buddhism, like Jewish or Muslim way of looking at any stories is not the same way. Okay, this is important to remember. This is a Greco-Roman approach. Greco-Roman approach is known for what? For its emphasis, for its focus on only the male, the masculine energy, glorifying the role of a male in any story. Okay, that's not necessarily true, and I'm going to show it to you soon. Okay, so the masculine approach, it's called the hero's approach. Okay, the institute, the way Pavel actually approaches it, he likes to connect it to, I'm going to show you here. Okay, give me a second. Connect it to the pyramid that Pavel created. Some of you, especially from Germany, may be aware of this. This is called, it says in Russian here, but I will actually be creating a course that will base, this is an amazing, amazing way to, so again, another way to bring this into a coaching program. Okay, this is a coaching approach. Okay, that there are 7 different ways you can approach any issue that have to do with words. Okay, we are familiar. Look, this is the same pyramid. I actually translated it, opened up. Okay, we're familiar here. I'm going to show you something. Okay, all of you in the NeuroGraphica are familiar, or at least you should be familiar. If not, go back to the basic course and watch the pyramid of consciousness. This is the pyramid, remember? Consciousness, actual consciousness, operational consciousness, then we have subconsciousness, then we have unconscious, then we have egregors, archetypes, and elements. This is how we have the 7 steps within the NeuroGraphic algorithm, okay? It's the same as being connected to the 7 chakras, okay? And what I want to bring you here is the idea of the hero, the way developed by Pavel. Pavel Piskaryov developed this kind of understanding and explanation of what a hero is, okay? Before we do that, I want to bring you the way, this is called the journey of a hero. Okay, the journey of a hero, you know what, I remembered, I realized what's missing here. Give me a second. I'll show you I forgot to enter there is a picture in here I want to show you in order for you to fully understand what I'm referring to. Give me a second, let me find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Here, you can look at this. I will explain to you what it says here. Don't worry if you don't understand Russian, because I will be explaining every single part here, okay? I want you to just look at the fact that this is a hero's journey. Those of you who took the mandala course with me, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to hero's journey. Remember the mandala course? Do you remember the hero's journey mandala? It was one of my favorite mandalas, okay? And those of you, if you watched in the sacred geometry course or the neurospirals course, we also talked about the hero's journey, okay? This is the idea of the hero's journey brought down by Joseph Campbell, okay? The idea of, again, it starts over here as a clockwise walking, okay? If we look at the quadrant, it's similar. It's coinciding with what we discussed last week. Stanislav Grove's theory of how the baby development is, okay? Okay, this is the development of the womb, development of the fetus. Over here, when it comes to the hero, we're going to talk about the adult, okay? The adult, the first quadrant has to do with gathering resources, gathering energy. The second quadrant is walking up the mountain. Remember the symbolism of a triangle, okay? The third quadrant is about reaching your goal, conquering over here, conquering, killing the minotaur, killing the dragon also, right? Lots of metaphors with conquering or killing the dragon. Okay, kill the dragon and you reach your goal. And the fourth quadrant is about realizing, integrating what happened when you reach your goal, when you killed the dragon, when you reached your aim that you set for yourself. What is this? Realization. Remember the realization quadrant? Here is a realization. Take whatever lessons you learned from the previous three and bring it, integrate it in your life, okay? I'm going to give you more now, okay? The 12 steps here. It actually has what? 10, 11, 12, okay? This is the classical understanding of what the hero's journey represents, okay? Give me a second. Yeah, 10 steps, okay? The first step is always the challenge of the fate, okay? The calling, we also call it, okay? Calling. So the hero is being called to do something heroic. He doesn't always necessarily hears it first, just FYI, okay? First thing is going to be like some kind of like a dream or some kind of a calling. And the person is like, I'm not sure if that's something mine, okay? The second step is accumulation of the strength, okay? Youthful initiation at Delphi. Again, connection to the myth, the Theseus, the myth of Theseus, the Greek myth originally occurred, okay? If you read the Greek myth, Theseus had lots and lots of adventures. He's very similar to Hercules in that, by the way. Lots and lots of adventures, even before and after the story of the Labyrinth, okay? Step number 3 was making a decision to go to the island of Crete. Before he made that decision, remember, that's step number 3. Look over here. That's over here. Before step number 3, he had to have step number 1 and step number 2, which is hearing the calling, and then preparation for the calling, knowing that he has the strength, that he agrees that he wants to be a hero, okay? Step number 4 is meeting with the partners, okay? He finds his partner, he meets Ariadne is his partner. Ariadne is connecting him to Daedalus, okay? Competition with the Minos in the port on the island, the creek, meeting with the partners. Step number 5 is detection of opponents. I should have included step number 6 in here, okay? He finds the opponent. He knows what he has to deal with. He has to go through the labyrinth. He has to not just fight, but kill the Minotaur, okay? Okay, that's step number 5. Step number 6 is actual going into the labyrinth and actually killing the killing the labyrinth, the Minotaur. Okay, once you kill the Minotaur, what happens? This peak kind of stops. Okay, you spend all your energy on killing the enemy, so you need to rest. Number 7 is resting. By the way, number 7 is resting. Okay, resting, figuring out what are the next steps, right? Remember in the story of Theseus, number 7 is what? It's actually figuring out that they need to leave the island ASAP, because if Minos find them, that's not going to be a good thing. He's going to kill them. He's very mad. He will be very mad about the fact that they killed the Minotaur, okay? And Ariadne escapes with him. So over here, number 8 is Ariadne and Theseus escaping the island of Crete, okay? And number 9 is doing something else, something that it seemed like doesn't have to do with their goal. But what did they do? Remember, they arrived to the island of Naxos, okay? And what does he do there? He leaves Ariadne there. Okay, again, the connection, notice this is a hero connection. The way the masculine energy is leaving the woman, okay, leaving the female part. They don't fully integrate the feminine energy. They want to continue keeping their masculine energy more. Okay, now that used to be. Nowadays, when people do the labyrinth, they don't do that. Okay, and if you even watched the past 10, 20 years, the way the Hollywood stories are made, the true heroes don't leave the female energy somewhere on the island. They embrace it. They make it a part of who they are. Okay. This is a very, I remember we talked about it, what do you call it? Androism, right? When only a masculine way of looking at the world, at what's happening in the world, okay? Step number 10 is figuring out what is my next step. After I did this beautiful heroic act, what do I do next? Getting some rest, getting some more energy, and hearing the call again. Number 11 is hearing another call. Another way to look at this would be number 11 is getting students. Nowadays, it would be getting students, training your apprentices, okay? Finding followers, right? That's a very modern way, right? Followers, that's all people think when they go on social media. We know that. Instagram is all about how many followers you have. Over here, that's number 11. How many followers do you have? How popular? How could you use this experience to gain popularity? Because popularity is a huge amount of resources nowadays. We base a lot of things on the way how popular we are or not, okay? And that's number 12. Number 12 is when you hear the calling and you're like, do I take it or not? And you have a choice. You can take the calling and then start going this way, hearing the calling, actually heeding to it, or not hearing the calling and saying, I don't want to do another heroic act. I want to stay here. Okay, this is the way Pavel adapted the journey of the hero. He created this circle, this mandala, okay? I personally don't agree with a lot of things, but again, I personally don't agree with this very, masculine-based and energy-only view at anything that happens in the world. But then again, I'm not a masculine energy. I'm a female. So of course, it's natural for me to want to bring a feminine energy into everything that I do, okay? Like I said before, I will be doing a archetypes course where we will be bringing not just male archetype, but lots and lots of female archetypes. There's actually a book. If you need me, you can tell me. I'll find you the name. I have it. It's a book on my Amazon list. One of the stuff that you want to buy. It's in my Amazon cart. That's called The Heroine's Journey. Amazing book where they take the same hero's journey and bring it how it applies to a female energy, a feminine energy. Okay, something also if you want to explore later on in life. Okay, this is what I already told you. Okay. This is the way the labyrinth works with the journey of the hero walk. I'm going to tell you, okay? I didn't get to translate this. I will translate it to you by words. When you start to enter the left entry, notice this is the left entry in our labyrinth, okay? The same will apply to the right, okay? When you start to enter the labyrinth, this is point 1. This is where a hero hears the calling, okay? Guys, I need a minute. I need to run to the restroom. I'll come back, okay? You can look at this, or if you want to, you can read what I wrote here. I'll be right back in a minute. I'm here, guys. I just give me half more minute. I'm just gonna get some warm water to drink. Okay, so my voice doesn't. I am back. Okay. Okay. Just needed to get some warm water so my voice doesn't strain. Okay. Okay. So when you first enter the labyrinth, it's step number 1, hearing the calling. Okay. Notice you make a whole walk. It's about hearing the calling. It's about heeding to the calling. It's about figuring out, saying yes. Then you continue going on the second. Notice the different colors to show you. This is when you heed the call. This is when you say, yes, I agree. I agree to go to approach this goal. I agree to work on this aim. Step number 3, notice it's very long. It's the longest. Notice it going all the way here and all the way here, okay? Being close to the center, but not yet. This is about meeting your partners, figuring out what to do, how to work. What am I going to plan to do? What is my activity, basically, okay? The little tiny step, which is step number 4, okay? Over here, look. This is locating your enemy, locating your challenge, figuring out that, there is a challenge, okay? And this is an interesting idea metaphorically. Challenges to us never seem so little. Challenges to us seem this big. But in reality, it's not that big. It's really this little. This is something too important to remember, okay? That fear is always overrated. We fear something that in reality is not that big, okay? This is killing the Minotaur. Look, it's reaching the center. Who's waiting in the center? Again, mythologically, it's finding the Minotaur and killing it, and like kind of winning. The idea here is that I'm winning. In the masculine point of view, that's killing the Minotaur, and that's how you win. Not in the feminine point of view, by the way. Very important to understand. In the feminine point of view, we don't kill the Minotaur. We talk to the Minotaur. We figure out a way to deal with the Minotaur without killing, okay? When we get mad at our significant others, it seems like we want to kill them, but we never kill them, right? That's an important part to remember. We feel like I'm ready to kill you. I don't kill them, no. We find a way to what? Communication. A feminine, remember we talked about in the very first session, anima and animus characteristic. Feminine approach is communication, talking, discussing, finding other ways. Male approach is just let's kill it and get over with it. No, that's not a feminine approach. Not about killing. It's about winning. It's about finding another way to win. Okay. Step 7. Okay. is coming out of the labyrinth. Look, we're walking out. Because after being in the center, remember what happens? We have a lot of resources. So what? We take that resources and we're going to bring it to the reality. And how does it happen? Over here, we have a walkway and we're full of resources and energy. Then we're walking a little more and we're kind of thinking, how will I be using my resources? How will I be integrating whatever I know about reaching my goal now? Okay, now over here, notice it's always the longest way, okay? It's going here and then all the way around. The green pathway is always the longest, okay? This is the realization of your ideas, okay? This over here is figuring out and saying, how do I integrate my experience? How do I find followers? Remember, how do I have students, train apprentices, okay? It's about how do I give back to the world? Social setting. And as soon as you're ready to do that, as soon as you're ready preparing yourself for the social setting, what happens? You go on the last circuit, the last round, and you're ready to exit. You're ready to integrate whatever you got in the labyrinth with the world, with your life, with reality, okay? Like I mentioned, this is a beautiful pyramid. Again, those of you in Germany, I think Sabina, I know for sure, told me she's trained. I'm also trained for this. This is an amazing, again, it's in the plans, the Bogoban, and this will be in the plans for me guys to lead it. It's truly amazing. Highly recommend to come, okay? And this is in English. What I want you to focus on, the way Pavel Piskaryov, the founder of NeuroGraphica, I explained the idea of a hero, how to be a hero, for you to be connected again to the conscious, to the pyramid of consciousness, how to gain more consciousness by traveling to the subconscious and reaching the elements, the core of who you are, okay? I'm going to talk a lot about the elements. That's going to be a completely new, different course that I'm going to make, maybe already in 2024. I don't know if I'm 25 already, but I am going to talk a lot about the elements, by the way, in the new course called the Reparenting. We're going to talk about who you are elementally, which will help you understand who you are and why you act a certain way. Why, why the same thing happens to many different people, but people look at it differently because of who you are elementally. Because of your birth element, how you were born really signifies and kind of shows you how you're going to approach and understand anything that happens to you, okay? We're going to focus on the hero. I translated this for you, okay? Hero. I'm actually, over the way to look at this is actually like, I wasn't able to do the triangle, so I just did this. Okay, hero. Who is a hero? The important part here with the pyramid, by the way, is lots of explanation, definitions. Okay, lots and lots of definition. Who is a hero? A hero is a person who is admired or idealized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. Again, remember the first time I looked at it, I was like, I wasn't connecting to it. But then until I learned and I understood myself that this is a male approach. But it's important for us to understand it. Even though most of us here, or all of us here are females, right? It doesn't matter. Because remember, our job in life is not just to hone, not just to strengthen our feminine approach, it's actually to strengthen our masculine approach. So this is the way you strengthen your masculine approach, okay? Hero, plus I'm going to show you a different way we can look at this hero labyrinth and find the feminine approach. We're going to find the goddess within. Okay, the hero is about, in order to be a hero, you need to go through the following steps. First step is physical approach, okay? High level of physical development, actually work on your physical body. The second approach is becoming a warrior. A warrior is somebody who is not afraid of challenge. A warrior is somebody who is not afraid to go and actually do the, training, how to fight. A warrior is somebody who is training how to fight, okay? A fighter. In other words, you know how challenging it was for me. I officially am the translator of all the words in the pyramid, whenever they're going to bring the pyramid in English, but I officially worked. I was the official translator of how to translate all the words within the pyramid. It was so challenging because another word over here could be fighter. Okay, warrior could also be another word, would be fighter. I should write it down. Is it? Yeah. Fighter is very important to remember, okay? Because nowadays warrior is not as relevant as the fighter is. Okay, fighter you can understand more because warrior is like a very medieval word for a fighter. Okay, tactic. Notice you stop with the physical development and you go to tactic, emotional development. Okay, this is very much a feminine approach to life. Tactic. Let's figure out a way to not kill the Minotaur. Let's figure out a way to find a way for him. Maybe he misses his mommy, female approach, okay? Tactic is a person adaptable to circumstances and possessing the art of managing them according to your goal. Okay, very important to find a way to manage anything. Soldier is a fighter, but going further. Soldier is somebody who has tactic. It's not just fighting. It's actually the ability to follow directions in a group setting. A fighter is somebody who follows directions in an individual setting. You learn how to fight. This is your individual challenge. You have to train your body to fight, to be able to physically see challenges. But a soldier is a part of the group. This is the most important part to understand, okay? This too, tactic and soldier is starting to deal with the social environment, okay? This next one is a leader, is a head, is a manager. It has influence and power. That's the next step, right? A plain soldier starts going higher in their rank. And somebody who is a leader needs to learn how to do the following. We know so many people. There's a leader, and a very good leader is who? Is somebody who has strategy, somebody who is a strategist. He's not just thinking, oh, I'm such a big shot. I'm a leader. I'm a manager. I'm a head of this company. No. If you want to be successful, you need to learn how to be responsible for a general, non-detailed activity plan, how to make plans, how to be responsible for a group of people, how to be responsible and give understanding that your business involves paying money to a lot of people. So you need to make money in order to pay people's salary. It's very important. People come and they rely on you. Responsibility is a very important part. It's not just enough to have influence of power. It's actually to take upon yourself this responsibility to be responsible for many people. Okay, that's a true leader. A good leader becomes a president. A very good leader becomes the head of a country, the head of the community. Okay, and that's where comes next step. We know this is the fourth quadrant. This is a mystic. The mystic, look, connection to the element, to your soul mission. We call it the soul mission. Again, if you didn't take the goals and values course, welcome to take it. I'm going to start giving it in April. Okay, the second cohort. Mystic is somebody who experiences absolute understanding of the divine, starts understanding that what you do in life, being a leader, being a strategist, being a soldier, being a warrior, a tactic, or an athlete even, becoming a hero is not just about killing the Minotaur. Becoming a hero is about understanding how it's connected to your soul mission, how it's connected to the world in general, how it's connected to the spiritual world, okay? Things happen on their own. Understanding that it is your mission, it was your calling. You didn't just agree to do it, but it was a part of why your soul decided to come to this world, to be a part of this world, okay? It's understanding what come from outside, connecting the spiritual world and the realistic world. Not a lot of people can reach this level. We know a lot of, look at your, even if you look at the presidents, right? The country presidents, you know, a lot of them will be able to be a leader. Most of them will become a strategist. Not all of them will become a mystic. Not all of them have an understanding how this can be connected to the fate, to the destiny, to the spiritual understanding of what a person or a country or community needs to do to reach its highest goal, okay? Let's go further. Any questions on this? I know this is a complicated topic, but I'm trying not to give you too much, not to overpower you, but just the idea that is connected to the hero, the idea of what a hero is, okay? We will be using this, by the way, next session. next session, I will actually explain more. I will try to create a videos. I may have actually a video where I explain all the facets of this pyramid, okay? All the facets in English. I will find a video. I did it a few years ago, and I will either make a new video or just find that video for you to understand before we meet next week. Because next week, we're going to draw a modern labyrinth that will be based upon the pyramid, okay? We'll be working on it. I don't know if we're going to get to draw it. I will try, okay? So, remember what I told you before as we met. The hero labyrinth is also a connection to the chakras, okay? The chakras labyrinth, you can look at it, and I mentioned it in the first session, the second session, right? And I told you can color it, when I gave you that labyrinth, the little stones labyrinth, right? And I told you can color it according to the chakras, where the middle can be red and the outer round would be purple, right? Going one by one. Or the opposite, the middle would be purple and the round would be red. Again, if you took the neuromandala course, you know what I'm talking about. We did the chakra mandala there. Okay, so this would be similar to it, okay? But it's interesting to start note that when you enter the labyrinth, you enter the third chakra, which is actually, if you look at it, the right entrance chakras, the purple is in the middle. If you go from the left side, the red is in the middle. But if you go on the right side, the purple is in the middle. And this third step, because you always enter the third circus, you always enter your solar perplex, okay? Remember, solar have to do with your soul, have to do with the energy, have to do with, heating the coal and all that stuff, okay? It's very interesting, okay? I also want to show you here, this is a Tibetan approach. It's not exactly chakras, it's called Tibetan approach to what the human body looks like. We're not talking about just the physical body, but of course we're talking about spiritual body, okay? That there is an ego here, there is notice the lotus, okay? The lotus here, there's a super ego here, okay? There is, I don't know much about it. Again, I took it from the course explanation, okay? Has to do with Kundalini yoga. Those of you who are familiar with that, those of you who are yoga teachers, you will probably understand this much more than me even, right? The idea of collective subconscious and their idea of collective, this is the future, the left side, and the right side is the past, okay? Connection to the moon and the sun, okay? And the center of the human is connecting both sides, the ego and the super ego, okay? The father is connected to the color blue and white. The mother is connected to the color yellow and red and orange, okay? Stuff like that. They have, again, I think it's much. Again, notice there is a void, there is a spirit here, okay? And the Kundalini is a connection to connect both energies, the natural, the realistic energy and the spiritual energy is how you reach when you do the Kundalini. That's the basis of the Kundalini yoga, okay? We're gonna do this soon. We're gonna take a break and then I'm gonna teach you how to build the hero labyrinth, okay? I wanna go further. Do you need a break now or should I continue? I'm gonna give you an understanding of what the goddess, there is a whole understanding of what the goddess and the